I popped over to the Bahamas for the weekend as my 3 months visa had expired.
I walked you to the plane and hoped to turn and say, please don't make me go alone.
Well, there we go. El Greco Hotel in Nassau, the Bahamas. I'm going to go out and hit a couple of bars, see what I can find. Back. Probably one of the most expensive places to get a drink or a feed in the whole place, and yet they're queuing up to get in there. And yeah. Anyway. Bro. We're at the Museum of Speed at Mount Dora. We're going to see Kerry and Cindy, who own it, who asked me to come in and have a look at their museum. So let's go and have a look. Hey Kerry, Brendan from Australia, how you going?
How are you? Welcome to America. So we've got the Cobra small block, and we have a big block on the other side. We have a 1935 DeSoto Airflow coupe. Coupe de Fleur Cadillac, and it's, of course, it's a flower car, so it has the casket in the rear. That rear stainless steel hatch comes up, and then the casket comes out. This is a 1966 Shelby GT350 Mustang, and they only made 11 that year with the Paxos supercharger. This pedal car came to us through a gentleman coming through with the Chrysler Club. It especially means a lot to me because I lost it in a divorce in 1980 and got it back 20 years later. So it's exactly like the day I bought it in 1978.
There you go. Hey, thanks Kerry for showing us around.
Thank you for coming to see us.
Your museum. Yeah, that was quite a good museum. If you want to see a good, wow, lots of stuff in here, I can tell you. Yeah, it's very well set up too. All right, I'm going to get going. I'm going to go around the world now.
Thanks again. Come back anytime soon.
All right.
Because when life throws her your way and you're too scared to say what you really need to say.
There we go. I just got into the Daytona International Speedway, and they've got this thing called a three-lap drive where you go with the driver on the track 170 miles an hour for $140. I mean, how can I say no to that? Come on. I'm in.
How many folks do it right?
Yep.
Well, I had some things to say, but I let them slip away. Got caught up with how you might react. Because when
Just had a ride. Man, that was sensational. How these drivers do this all day, every day, I don't know. Just absolutely fantastic. Hey, how was that? Well, you got to go with the flow. Hey, sensational. Let's go. Good things are happening. Well, here we are at the Wheels Through Time Museum, just out of Asheville, and I'll have a wander in, see if I can find the owner and have a chat to someone. Heard a lot about this museum, so we'll go and have a chat. Right, let's go.
You're probably looking for me.
Sorry?
I said you're probably looking for me.
Yeah, are you the owner?
You got some papers in your hand, you're driving a police car, so you gotta be looking for me. What can I do for you?
Yeah, this is the trip I'm doing around the world.
Around the world?
In 300 days in the Australian Commodore.
In 300 days, in search of the lost Tuckers.
That's my trip.
God, this is a great trip, Brendan. So I suppose we should give you a proper welcome.
Yeah?
This is my buddy, brought here by one of your fellow.
Wow, this is quite a museum
This
here.
is the All-American Places. Everything in the building's American-built. 3 non-American vehicles. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rare American machines here.
Oh, take two. This is just amazing. I'm so glad I came to this. This is one of the best museums. Wow. Holy cow. So this is your everyday bike?
Right. Yeah, it's my everyday bike. It's a 15 Harley. Raced it in the American Cannonball, which was Kitty Hawk to Santa Monica, California, 3,492 miles.
And you rode this?
Got 8th place. These are a 750 and a 1200 that we go real fast on. And this one we raced 24 hours straight at the Talladega Motor Speedway. And the yellow one we did the Great American Car Race, which on that bike was Ottawa, Canada to Mexico City. This is a very famous bike. It belonged to Maldwin Jones, and he and Will Henderson built up this special to break a 24-hour endurance record on a board track in Cincinnati in 1917. And you give it a kick 1, kick 2, and then you give it 1 good pull.
Up.
Of this bike, just before he crashed it in 17 on a board track in Cincinnati. And that's the famous.
What model is that?
It's a 17.
Hey, how you doing?
We have a famous race car driver here, NASCAR. Oh yeah, don't
Yeah, you remembered.
Of
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
This man is driving his car around the world. He lives in Australia,
Oh, really?
and he's looking for Tucker cars. Do you have one?
No, don't have.
You know anybody who has one?
Not offhand.
No,
I
no.
figured you'd have
No, I don't
one.
have a Tucker.
Okay, Dale, what's this car, mate?
This is a 1949 Veritas. It's a German-built car. The engine and drivetrain is pre-war German, 1938. It's called a BMW 328. This Veritas car is unique in the fact it has a Spahn body. And Spahn was a German coach builder after World War II and built only a few cars with the exotic tail fins. The BMW was a standard feature on their Veritas cars, but only about 70 were built. This car is all steel construction, no fiberglass. This is just all the people that come to Wheels Through Time. We put little pin dots on the map, so we just started doing this about 4 weeks ago, and these are all our visitors. But we have a special pin for you. I would like to give you this pin. Find the appropriate place.
Oh, I know where it is.
I know you do.
Rockhampton.
Yay! Hey, thanks, Dale. What a fabulous day I've had here. This is definitely one of the best museums in the world.
You have been my inspiration for the day. When I saw you pull up in the police car, I said, this is going to be a special day. And no doubt, you made it a special day. Thank you.
All right, buddy, I gotta get going. I gotta get around the world.
Carry on.
I'm glad I came here. I'm really glad I came here. You must come here, guys.
Another great day. Safe travel. Oh, you got to get in on this side. I forgot.
Hey, buddy.
So long, pal.
There, guys. Walk around the world. Here we are in Maggie Valley. We just saw the Wheels Through Time exhibition yesterday. Wasn't an exhibition, wasn't a museum. It was actually an experience. That place. I'm so glad I came here, and this This Maggie Valley is just gorgeous too. We're going to get going. All right, let's go.
Every single month and fly out on every holiday. That I'd be the best damn thing that ever happened.
Here we are inside the museum. Let's go and find this tucker. I'm Brendan from Australia. I'm here travelling around the world looking at tuckers. I believe you've got a tucker.
But when you want to see the tucker, take a left and it's right there on your right.
Alrighty, let's go. Oh wow, yeah, now I remember. Nice museum, this one. Very, very nicely laid out and has some very unique stuff in it too. And there we go, tucker number 1028. Okay, here we are at tucker number 1028 at Tupelo Auto Museum. And Alan here, the curator. How are you going, Alan?
How are you?
I'm good, nice to meet you.
Glad to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, tell us a little bit about the tucker.
Well, this particular tucker, Mr. Frank Spain purchased at an auction.
Yep.
And at the time he bought it, a good friend of his told him he gave way too much money for it.
Yeah.
And I want to say he gave a little over $300,000, which I'm sure at the time was a lot of money. And then, of course, year before last at the Barry Jackson auction, 2.65, I believe.
Yeah.
So we feel like he did a pretty good job.
You've done a bloody good job, actually, and it looks pretty good here.
It was a 100-point restoration car. This is the favorite car in the museum.
Wow.
Hands down.
That's amazing.
It is.
Well, I can believe it because every other museum I've been into and they've got a tucker, it's always in the pride of place.
Got good friends and family who love and care about you. You got a lot, yeah, going, man. So what are you gonna do?
So you told me you've got an Elvis Presley car here.
We do. We have a Lincoln that Elvis actually bought for a good friend of his in Denver, Colorado. So we actually have the cancel check where Elvis actually bought the car and signed the check for it. And we have a picture of Elvis actually handing the keys to the gentleman that he gave it to. And I looked, and engraved in the quarter window is Elvis's logo, TCB. And I had never seen that before. So we get a lot of Japanese visitors, and they come in speaking Japanese in a group, walking through the museum. We don't understand a word they're saying, and all of a sudden they get right along here, and you hear them say, "Back to the future, back to the future," and you know they recognize the DeLorean. We have this '84 El Camino that belonged to B.B. King, and if you'll notice, I don't know if you can see it real well, but on the door there is a scale. And if you know how to read music, the scale reads B, B. And that was the way he signified his car.
Oh, right, that's pretty cool.
This car also is a B.B. King car. It's a 1978 Rolls Royce, and these cars were stored for years in Las Vegas. That's where B.B. King lives. And he recently donated these cars to the B.B. King Museum. But the museum didn't have anywhere to store these cars. They actually weren't prepared for cars. And they called me and asked if we would put these cars on display.
Oh, Liberace, oh, there we go. Is this a special for Liberace?
Yes, it is. This car was actually built by George Barris.
Oh, yes.
Big customizer in the United States. And he built several of these cars, but this particular car belonged to Liberace. This is actually, it looks like an old car, but it actually isn't. This car was built in 1963 for the movie, The Great Race. It was made to appear like an old car, but it actually has a late model Ford chassis, 6-cylinder Ford motor, and an automatic transmission. So literally you could get in this car and probably go anywhere you wanted to go, because the car had to be very dependable so that they could make a movie each day and not have a breakdown and have to start over. So it's a neat car, and it's got a lot of history. Frank liked the Mormons. This is an extremely rare car, the Wasp.
So this was Frank's first restoration, you say?
This was, I've always been told this was his favorite car. He loved his 48 Jag. This car is an early example, I would say, of a hybrid. It does have a gas burning engine, but all the engine does is to spin a generator that creates electricity.
Really?
Then the electricity was transferred to a electric motor on the rear axle, and the car was driven by electricity.
There we go. Here's Tucker 1028 at the Tupelo Museum. Really nice museum here. Nice people. Yeah, the Tucker's in pretty good nick too. So, alrighty, we better get going. We've got plenty more to do. Let's go. I'm off around the world. See you later. Okay, bye. We were just in Tupelo at the Tupelo Automobile Museum and got a very good reception there from Alan, the curator, and Jane, the owner. Had a good time. She even organised for a TV station to come in and interview me this morning, so that was something new. Went well.